Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, good afternoon to all, and welcome to the 1 week AICTE sponsored short-term healthcare startup evolution and revolution. And today with us, Mr. Neeraj Bafna, and it gives immense pleasure to introduce to the Neeraj because he is our PCP product pass out from the year of 2017 from the PCP as a doctor of pharmacy. And along with that, after completion of Doctor of Pharmacy, he has completed his PG diploma in the international business and the foreign trade policy. Again, he has completed healthcare innovation program in the year of 1819 from the MIT and the Harvard Medical School, Cambridge. Along with that, he has vast experience in the entrepreneurship. He has worked as presently he is a founder as of RX CO Private Limited, Pune. And along with that, he also worked as a resident entrepreneur in case of in the Catalyst in IIT Mandi. Then he has worked as a research fellow as an Nidhi in the Venture Center in the NCL Innovation Park. Also, he has worked as a key functional associate in the MIT and the Harvard Medical School, Cambridge, Boston. And along with that, in the Genex Pharma Mumbai as a strategy and the growth expert. Along with this experience, he has a very good research profile also that he, in a very short period of time, he has developed. He has a good international research papers to his credit, just like a Biopharm journal. Along with that, he received the 2 provisional patents on the innovative systems and the method for drug dispensing. And along with that, he has 2 copyrights on the iconography and the packaging design, 2 trademarks and 1 design registration on the overall technology system. So this is his research experience and credits are there. Along with that, he has a very good awards also in his credits. He has received an industry expert and research member PCP Innovation Cell Award. Along with that, National Innovation Fellowship and Entrepreneurship in residence, that is EIR, in the year of 2020-2021 under the Venture Center NCL. Then Nidhi Prayas grant also he has received from the IIT Mandi Department of Science Technology, Government of India. Along with that, he has awarded with the outstanding performance and contribution toward the pharmacy profession by the Indian Pharmaceutical Association. And along with this, he has also received the excellent work, his excellent work in the community healthcare. That's why he has awarded with the Nirali Publication House. So with this brief introduction, I welcome to the Neeraj Bafna and I request him to share his experiences and expertise, especially in case of startups and entrepreneurship. Neeraj, to you, and welcome to you with this bouquet.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a kind introduction and lovely virtual bouquet. I am very glad to be here, part of this particular program, sponsored by AICTE and hosted by Pune College of Pharmacy. I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself first in a brief manner, and then from there onwards we can dive deep into understanding how innovation or how startups are changing the new age India, the modern India. We are also calling this particular decade, that is from 2020 to 2030, the entrepreneur decade or the innovation decade of India. So there are a lot of things which I would like to share, which I've come across in past few years in my professional curriculum. So just to introduce, I am a pharmacy graduate. I am very happy to say that I'm a product of Pune College of Pharmacy. I did my PharmD from PCP. I'm a pass out of 2016-17 batch, and from there I was placed in international Genex Pharmaceuticals, working into strategy and growth for international markets like Eastern Africa, Latin America, Mauritius. While I was working over there, I also got an opportunity to study international business and foreign trade policies, which I did this course in Wellingkers Institute in Bombay, and which was co-sponsored by my company. A very interesting field, very interesting subject. From there, I got an opportunity to learn more about innovation and what's happening on a global level, how people are changing or innovating products which are game changing, or which are changing the entire mindset of the community around them. And I applied for this course at Harvard Medical School, and I got selected over there. And that was an experience which changed the thought process which I had during my college days. So when I was at Harvard, I studied more of how technology is developed for the gaps which are there in the society, specifically value-driven innovations. How do we develop value-driven innovations? My title of the topic also says value-driven innovation, which means that a lot of people are innovating stuff. A lot of people are developing new products, new technologies, new services, new business. But how many of them are creating actual value to the society? So when I talk about society, it means that the entire ecosystem, like in the healthcare, it is patients. In the corporate, there are corporate organizations and a lot of other stuff. So how people can create value or create immense impact through their innovation is the key to create something new or to establish something new. That's what I learned over there. One of the very key things which I learned when I was studying this healthcare innovation at Harvard was problem identification. A lot of times when people have ideas and people have that motivation or passion to have a startup or to start up something by their own, they only focus what solution they want to develop or what problem, what innovation they want to create. But no, very less of people will focus on what problem they want to solve, right? Problem solving and problem identification is something which is very key when it comes to innovation, and that's what I learned over there. When I was working on this capstone project in the US, I was working on this problem of health monitoring, the vital monitoring when geriatric people are staying at home, and I was also working on medication therapy management project. That time there were few Indian government officials who were scouting in the US. So there's a group of 20-25 people from India. Their job is to just travel globally and find the potential candidates who can come back to India and do something valuable for the country. And that's how they announced a walking program wherein all the Indians can go and pitch whatever they are doing and the projects they are working on. And I along with my few friends, I went in over there and I pitched this project, the problem what I'm trying to solve. Though I was working from the US, my target market was India and Japan, because India and Japan house the most number of elderly population throughout the world, right? India has almost like 120 million elderly people who are 65 plus staying in India. So my problem was around these people, and that's why I got selected for this fellowship program. And when I came back to India, I was offered with a national fellowship grant along with office space and a lab in NCL Innovation Center, Pune. So this is basic background about me, what I have done, about the academic curriculum. Currently, my engagements are, I have a startup which is called as RXCO Private Limited, and we have developed a technology which is solving difficulties and complexities related to medication therapy management for the chronic patients who are consuming multiple medicines on daily basis, and the problems which are associated with that. We have developed a systematic approach and algorithm to solve this on a very holistic manner. There are a lot of things which might be very confusing for all of you with the flow of this particular session. I'd like to explain you how I have evolved as an entrepreneur and am evolving as an innovator. Okay, so with this, I would like to share my screen. There is a small presentation which I would want you all to go through, and with that presentation, we would also have some interactive activities as well. Can you see the screen? Am I audible and visible enough?
Yes, Neeraj. Screen is also visible.
Okay. So when we talk,
Neeraj, just make it on a slide mode. Full slide.
Is this okay now?
No, we are not still able to. The slides are visible. Only thing is make it full screen.
I did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so if there is anything, please point it out, because now I cannot see the meeting screen. I am just able to see the presentation from here. Okay, so when we talk about innovation, right, a lot of stuff come in our mind. Innovation means technology, innovation means new ideas, a lot of systematic approach, a mobile app, a lot of things which comes in our mind, right? And I always say, when I talk to the young students or the young entrepreneurs like me, when it comes to innovation, there is a lot of hesitation which we consider in ourselves, which is hidden in our mind. And before I start, I would just want to give you this tagline that if ever you want to do something, just don't hesitate and start to innovate. That's what it means. So, what does innovation mean to you all? Can I get some answers from you all? I mean, if it would be interactive, it would be make much more fun for all of us to understand this particular concept. Anything which comes to your mind. So yeah, so basically innovation is not like an eureka moment that I'm sitting inside a dark room and I have that eureka moment in my mind and I say that, hey, I got this idea and now this is going to be game changing. This is not an event, right? There is this like a natural calamity which is happening and we do innovation. Innovation is basically a process, and that process is directly proportional to this particular term called as design thinking. What is design? So problem identification is one of the part of design thinking process. And now I'm going to tell you all about how design thinking is going to be one of the most impactful and valuable tools for you all to learn how innovation is done and how you can motivate or pass on this particular concept about how to innovate to your students or to your colleagues in your colleges and universities, right? So, yeah.
Neeraj, we are not able to see the slides at all.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, you can proceed now.
So when I put it on the full screen, are you able to see?
full screen पे रखने के बाद problem आ रहा है. That is not getting.
Okay. I'll keep it in this and probably.
Yes. That is fine, Neeraj.
Okay. So I was talking about problem identification and value driven innovations are directly linked to this particular term as design thinking process. And let us now walk through the entire process. What does this design thinking mean? There are total 5 phases. We will quickly go through all 5 phases and understand what all important aspects are supposed to be covered when we are in those particular phases. So the very first phase is problem definition and problem identification, wherein we have to literally identify what particular issue or what particular concern are we trying to solve in the community. When it comes to solving a problem, let's take an example that there are a lot of patients who are diabetic, right? And the problem what they are facing nowadays or from a very long period of time is injecting the insulin injections onto their body, right? That is one of the problems. So how do we solve that? Now, this is the problem. There are various problems around this as well. If you cut this down, understanding which insulin is supposed to be taken, understanding how to eject the certain type of dose from the vial, like let's say there is 10 ml vial, how do you get 2 ml of the insulin into the syringe and then inject it onto the body. And then while you're injecting, there are a lot of small wounds of those pricky needles which happens onto the body. You must be aware about how these diabetic patients are facing this problem, and due to that then there are multiple problems like infections and neuropathies and all of that is happening, right? So this is one of the problem. It is very complex problem. Now you have to cut it down to understand what is actual need. Why if the need is to solve that needle related problem, you need to work on it. That is basically need finding, building up empathy by interviewing and observing the user. So when you say empathy is you have to go in the patient's shoes and live like what they are living, understand their real life problems, thinking, going into their mindset, not thinking that nahi hame to ye dikh raha hai ki needle ka problem hai और vial से syringe में medicine extract करने का problem है. This is what you're observing. But what actually the problem is, you need to go and observe the user, interview the user, ask them certain open-ended questions so that you empathize their side and then find the actual need. So problem identification and need finding are two different things which we need to understand, right? And then the ideation part comes. So a lot of times what happens is that when we are into this process of innovation, chal aaj ek idea aaya hai that let's have a website which is going to sell, for example, medicines which are related to cancer. Okay, now this is just an idea. People make their website and then they start selling. Okay, now you are building upon your idea, your problem identification and the need finding goes vacuum. It's all empty. So after a certain period of time, the startup starts failing. The revenue model, the business model all starts deteriorating, and then there is a problem. They find that, oh, why my business is not working. 98%, according to a lot of studies, 98% of startups are failing because they don't follow this design thinking process. They just have an idea in mind कि कुछ करना है, कुछ करने के लिए कुछ तो solution दिमाग में आता है कि ये कर लेते हैं and we'll have our own startup. That fascinates them to have a startup, and then they implement that, probably they fail. But very few people who start from phase 1 are failing in the startups. There are very high chances that you might succeed if you are in this process, right? Once you ideate, ideation is basically it's a flaring mode. You can imagine all of the things which comes to your mind and jot it down on a piece of paper, on a drawing board, wherever you want. And from those ideas, whatever you have for one particular problem which you're trying to solve, you need to create a prototype. Prototype is just a test sample of your product. That's what the prototyping is. And And once you have the prototype, you need to go in the market, you need to go in the society and test it out, right? So a lot of students in your colleges must be asking that, sir, हमें ये idea है, हम कहाँ से start करें? हम कहाँ से start करें? हमें नहीं पता चल रहा है. We are not able to understand that where to start from. Now we are going to do one activity, one exercise, which is specifically focused on problem identification. You need to tell them that this is the design thinking process. There is a lot of content available on the internet, on YouTube. There are videos from Stanford, from Oxford, from IIT Bombay, there are professors and the entrepreneurs who are explaining about design thinking process in very, very simple and layman language. So you can go through that. The fifth phase is testing. You get the feedback on your first prototype to improve it. So whatever prototype you have developed, let's say an app or a new form of syringe or a vial for extracting the insulin from a big 10 ml vial, if that is a prototype you have developed, then you need to go and test it with the users from and take the feedback from them that what is correct and what is not correct. Focus on what is not correct, because you know that what is correct is always going to be correct. If you correct what is not correct, I mean, if you correct with the irrational stuff, the illogical stuff, and get them right on top of what is actually the optimized product, then you will have the finished product. Then you can go in the production and then into the market. So this is the process which if in case students and people who are wanting to be in the startup phase, whether it is having a normal small e-commerce website or a very deep tech, deep science, IP driven, intellectual property driven startup or innovation, this process is supposed to be followed. Drug discovery, various types of disposing medicines into the body, all of this starts with problem identification, right? So with this, we are going to do one exercise. I have shared a document with you all. I would want you all to get that document onto your table, and we will do that exercise which explains more about problem. Understanding problem is the key thing. Once again, I'm trying to tell you. So yeah, it is going to be a 10-minute activity. I'll once again share my screen and go through that activity once for you all. Are you all ready with the with this document? Can you all see the screen?
Yes,
Yes.
Neeraj.
Okay, great. Yeah. So this activity is going to have 3 exercises. I'm going to slowly read down what is written over here for you all to understand. If there is anything which you have doubts, which you think is doubtful, you can just unmute yourself and talk about it with me right over here. So in this exercise, this is the first exercise. Okay. In this exercise, what we are going to do is write down 3 different problems that you have faced in your life. In particular, try to focus on community healthcare and patient care. Very simple thing. We have to write down 3 problems which we have faced in community healthcare or patient care, whether it is buying medicines, taking consultation towards with the doctors, going to the hospitals, arranging ambulance. I'm just giving an example. With this example, I'm trying to tell you how specific you need to write your problem. So just trying to define one problem. I have a problem with time management. This particular statement is little less specific. If I have to convey this particular problem in more specific way, I'll tell I lose 2 hours a day on social media platforms like Facebook, etc. Right. So since I'm losing 2 hours a day while I'm using social media like platforms like Facebook, Instagram and all, I'm not understanding how to manage my time. I have studies, I have sports to play, I have to go for some cultural gathering, all of that, but I'm not able to manage my time. So time management is not the problem. The problem is that I'm spending 2 hours of my day on social media platform, right? So just to give you an example how to cut down the problem and understand what is why behind that problem. Another information for you all to write down 3 problems are problems that occur frequently and are painful. You can consider this factor to write down your problem. Health problems are more often common sources like cancer, diabetes, kidney diseases, all of that. However, the problem could be simply something that annoys you. You think there should be a solution for this particular problem which will help society for making their health better. Very simple thing. Annoys you means ambulance time pe nahi aata is an annoying problem. क्या कर सकते हैं? Pharmacy रात को 2 बजे if we want a paracetamol and if I don't have that, what do I do? It's a very simple problem, but it annoys us, right? Now with this, you have to be confident enough and write down 3 important problems which you have faced and which you feel that are more painful, which someone or the other can solve to make the life of the community around you better, right? So we'll take 2 minutes of time or maybe maximum 3 minutes to write down 3 problems over here. Vida ma'am, can you see the screen now? I just got your message that slides are not visible at all.
Yes. Now it is visible.
Okay, so just to summarize, we were talking about this first particular exercise, and we have to write down 3 problems over here, random problems which comes to your mind. Now, why I'm making you all to do this particular exercise is that I want you all to go back to your colleges and universities and make your students the innovation cell, the students who are participating in your in such activities, make them do this exercise, because this is where the innovation process starts. A lot of people will come and ask you that I have an idea, how do I start? Let them do this particular exercise. All right, let's go on exercise number 2. Now that you have all 3 problems written down, you're ready for exercise number 2. Over here, what the goal is to refine all 3 problems and to write down one problem in detail. In the very first exercise, we have written 3 statements of 3 problem statements. Now we have to define that problem in detail. Now, how do we define those problems? I'll give you some certain context. So when you decide this particular statement, the third paragraph, when you decide on the problem which you want to solve, try to answer following questions. You have to write down answers for this following questions over here with one problem which you want to solve, right? What specifically is the problem? In what context does it occur? How frequently? Like an example, I'm giving you, I have 3 problems which I have written down. First problem is timely ambulance management. Second problem is accessibility to rare medicines. Like if you remember during COVID second wave, remdesivir and tocilizumab were this rare medicines. The accessibility and availability of these medicines were one of the greatest tasks of the entire nation. So this is one of the problem I'm writing down. And third is very simple thing, booking a slot for a physician's appointment or doctor's appointment. I'm not talking about very innovative, unique problems, simple problems, so that we understand. Now, I want to talk about the context about ambulance management, timely ambulance availability. How frequently is this problem occurs? The frequency of these problems is very rare. Once in a lifetime, someone in our house is having some traumatic condition, maybe some cardiac arrest or something, and for that we would need ambulance. But how important is to have that particular solution during that once in a life situation? It is important because what are the consequences of it? Maybe the person who is facing this problem in our family or in our relatives family, friends family, might be life threatening, right? We don't want to risk with the person's life because they are important, and for that particular reason timely availability of ambulance is always needed, right? So you need to consider consequences, the frequency, how many people are facing that problem, right? What specifically is the problem? Is it like a very high fundamental problem, like only rich people face that, or the poor people are facing certain problem? You need to consider that. Example, so one of the example is, does it waste money of patients is one of the question, right? Does it stop you from doing something that you need to do, right? How would your life change if that problem just disappeared? Imagine that the ambulance availability is the solved problem. Now we have a very appropriate solution that once we click on an app, within next 10 minutes or 15 minutes of time, we will have the ambulance near our doorstep, or let's say in 5 minutes. Now, this is going to be life-changing for all of us. We all know that there is one app or there is one helpline number. We just call 111 and then the ambulance is going to reach to our doorstep, right? So you need to refine all 3 problems and pick one which is more about which you are more passionate about and which is going to be more valuable to the society. So you need to write down that over here. You just need to write in detail. There is no specificity that you have to write in certain format. The synthesizing of the problem can be done on the later stages as well. Okay. So we'll just make it quick so that there are a lot of things ahead which we can discuss about, and then I can also take certain questions if there are any. So for this exercise number 3, what we are going to do is we are going to turn ourselves into an innovator. We are going to wear those shoes of innovator. We are going to introspect in ourselves and have this goal of having an innovative solution for the problem which we have written down in exercise number 2. Right away, we are going to have, let's say, 31 problems which we are going to have and 31 solutions. Imagine the capacity of this particular session or event that we are going to have in next 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. We're going to have 31 different problems, or maybe some common problems are going to arrive, right? And 31 solutions. All these 31 solutions and problems, if documented and shared it with the students, and if the faculties collaborate with them, out of this, at least one can go ahead, because I know that the problem, what we face, and the approach as an academician or a professor we have towards identifying something in the society is very clear, right? So just going to take 2 minutes to understand how do we have to write down the solution. Now we over here, what I'm going to ask you to do is do an assessment of the skills that you have. I'm going to read this out for you so that you understand. Start the process with broad questions such as, what do I like to do? Like, do I like technology? Do I like computers? Do I like coding? Or I like, engaging with patients? I like, interacting with doctors, whatever it is. What education do I have? I have Doctor of Pharmacy education, which means that I am good at clinical therapeutics. I'm good at pharmacology, and I'm also good at very good at patient engagement, patient counseling, maybe. Okay. What professional skills and experiences I have developed so far? Technology development, innovation, understanding the policies, and all of that. What am I good at? I'm good at communication. I'm good at managing people. I'm good at creating unique ideas. Okay. So these are the all questions you need to answer down in the space which is given over there, and you need to write it down. This is what I'm trying to dictate or talk about it in front of you, but you need to write it down over there. So what expert knowledge do I have? Am I good at software development? All of that. So the part of this exercise is important because you won't always have all the skills you need. Constant learning is inseparable companion, and it's fun too. So you can always write down that, okay, for the problem what I'm trying to solve, I don't have the skills, but I am going to develop, or I'm going to need a companion, or I'm going to need a consultant who is going to give me that knowledge of how to solve this problem using technology or whatever. So the problem which you have chosen in exercise number 2, you need to introspect, write down the skills you have, and then find a solution. So everyone ideate and pen down one solution to your problem. Make sure contribute something which involves everyone's skill set. So this is like for a group activity, but you can ideate by yourself, pen down what one solution will you have for the problem. Every solution should not have the deep theories which we study in the books. Every solution does not mean that having a technology is going to be the solution. A lot of solutions are very simple, very holistic, and very convenient when you look at it. And we are going to learn about it in the next 10 or 15 minutes, right? All right. Okay. Is there anyone who can talk about the three problems they have written and then the one refined problem and the solution? If there are two or three people who could come up and talk about it, it is going to be uh, so much fun for all of us to listen about it. So one of the facts, what I want to tell you over here is there are a lot of studies which says that almost 76% of faculties, I mean the professors, are either the directors, co-directors, or co-founders in at least one company which has been established or founded in their own college or university. This is about US. I'm not sure, there is not much data about India, about how many professors or faculties have that opportunity, or even if that is allowed by the universities by policies, that if they can co-found or be a partner with their students or their colleagues, like the co-teachers, and form a company. But in the US, 76% faculties are the directors or co-founders, right? So this is just a fun fact which I wanted to tell you all. And if that happens in India, then nothing is going to stop us to be the innovation hub, at least in the pharmacy profession. Because what we have seen is all these unicorns, all the startups nowadays are coming from people who have studied in IITs, IIMs, NITs, um, um, engineering background, commerce background, and all of that. Very few startups are coming from people who are having pharmacy as their background or pharmacy as their profession, right? So quickly, if anyone is interested who would want to unmute themselves and talk about uh, the three problems and then one refined problem and a solution. Vivida ma'am, do we have that
Neeraj,
opportunity? If people can unmute themselves and talk about it, if is there a technical issue?
no. So Neeraj, can I give my problems related to that three problems that what I selected?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I would love to hear about it.
Yes. So basically, in case of community pharmacy, what basically seen that the selection and the storage of a drug, this is the main problem. Then the patient counseling, which is not happening mostly, and proper record keeping of the patients as well as the drugs which are prescribed to them. These are the three problems.
Great. This is a very clear identification, very nice definition of the problem, sir.
Yeah. And in that, again, out of three, I have refined the one, that is the patient counseling, which is basically the lacking in every community pharmacy. And in that case, if we need to do something, so without keeping the medication history, without collecting the patient's data, it's very difficult to do the proper counseling.
Correct.
So in that case, if we need to find out the solution, so in that case, from my point of view, that is making the awareness in case of a patients, and along with that, making the patient medication charts related to the diseases, to collect the information not only of them but their family or
families. Yes.
Any other kind of genetic diseases are there. Medication history is there.
Yes.
So that can be done. And if we are using the technology in a simple manner, that will be also useful to collect the correct data.
Correct.
And that will be useful to counsel the patients correctly.
Yes, yes. Such a wonderful exercise, sir. I am thankful for you to open up your mic and talk about it in front of all of us. Um, um, Now, this is the actual problem. This is the problem which is very rarely solved. There are a lot of apps for inventory management. There are a lot of apps for the storage of the medicines in the pharmacy. So basically, all the problems which are driven to make the business sustainable. Okay, all the problems are not very patient centric, the user centric, or the solutions or the technologies or the apps which the community pharmacy are using are not patient centric. So can there be something which would be a very simple having digital app or something which is going to help the patients or the pharmacist to maintain the record, along with that do certain type of patient counseling? So that doesn't mean that verbal counseling, they can also send certain messages that about the lifestyle modifications, diet modifications, and all of that. Now, believe me or not, sir, if this particular problem is catched or holded by some student in your university or in your innovation cell, nowadays every college is supposed to have one innovation cell, and they work on it extensively, understanding the know-how in a very minute detail, they might end up having a $1 million startup. Right. So any problem, any idea is always small and simple and not very attractive looking until and unless you don't work on it. You don't discuss about it. You don't talk about it with the peers around you. So with this, if anyone, one last chance, if anyone wants to unmute themselves and talk about it, about this particular exercise, that would be really great. If not, someone can collect these forms and accumulate it and share these forms with the students around you. All 31 participants or 30 participants can share the forms with the host and admin, and you can share this with the students, because they're going to have almost like 90-95 problems in front of their eyes right away, whether it is community pharmacy related or patient care related. Now, in this particular exercise, what we did is that we had a theme of community healthcare. You can change the theme. You can change the theme as, let's say, drug discovery or lab management. There are a lot of problems in managing the labs at the college level. People who are in MPharm, a lot of times they do not have certain solutions available, chemicals available, certain equipments, like very simple, like anything like HPLC, whatever it is, they don't have that availability. So can there be a knowledge sharing platform wherein, let's say, PCP doesn't have HPLC or a certain machine and DY Patil has that? Can PCP rent out that, or can PCP source that from DY Patil every month for 7 days or so? Then how to work out the logistics? So the theme of this particular exercise can be anything. It can be cancer management. It can be clinical trials. It can be pharmacovigilance, whatever it is, right? And we need to let them. So every theme, we will have one particular participant will have 3 problems that particular participant has written down. So you can do this activity with the students, and it is very engaging activity. Make your students, all of them, open their mic, stand on their table and talk about it in front of everyone, and let everyone discuss about it. Right? Because until unless we don't do that bombarding or hammering on people's mind or the students' mind that no, problem को ढूंढना बहुत जरूरी है, until problem नहीं रहेगा, अच्छे से नहीं पता रहेगा, तो हम लोग solution नहीं create कर पाएंगे. So how does this Practo, Swiggy, Zomato people work? They start with क्या problem करना है, क्या प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है. नहीं, लोगों को डॉक्टर का कंसल्टेशन टाइम पे नहीं मिल रहा है, उसके लिए कुछ तो करना है. तो ठीक है, एक ऐप बनाते हैं, सोल्यूशन. नो, they go from bottom up analysis, नीचे से ऊपर जाते, that why we need an app. Okay, 5 whys they'll ask. The 5 why theory is also very important to identify a problem, that why we need an app to book and consultation. So the patients, the people around them will be that, नहीं डॉक्टर का कंसल्टेशन बुक करने के लिए ऐप चाहिए, ठीक है. डॉक्टर का कंसल्टेशन क्यों चाहिए? Why do you need doctor consultation? Every time it is not easy for me to go to the hospital. Why do you need to go to the hospital? What's that always making you go to the hospital? No, I am having that hyperacidity problem, that's why I have to go to the hospital. Why are you having hyperacidity problem? ऐसा करके this practo people, Swiggy में एक ऐप है, उसमें खाना ऑर्डर करना है. खाना क्यों ऑर्डर करना है? भूख लगती है. भूख क्यों लगती है? भूख लगती है मतलब भूख क्यों, उसका रीजन नहीं है, but there is a hunger. Then if there is no reason, that who is that person who faces this hunger? Usually the teenage people who are working doesn't have a lot of time, right? Then where are these people working? In corporate companies. Okay, where are these corporate companies located? So all this, they do this bottom up analysis and then understand the very minute details of the problem. And then they come back to the solution. अच्छा चलो अभी ऐप है, अभी ऐप में क्या क्या चाहिए. Now they have listed down the entire flow that कहाँ से क्या problem हो सकता है. Right? So so we have like last 30-35 minutes. Any recommendations on any suggestions or any feedback until now? If there is anything, please do share. So once again, we are going to talk about the problem. See, catching the niche, small part of something big is going to be important. Cancer, you can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Cancer is a broad problem. उसका niche क्या हो सकता है? Detection of cancer, assessment of cancer, management of cancer, prevention of cancer. This is all we study in pharmacovigilance, right? DAMP. So the DAMP model, can we work only on detection of cancer? Some people can say that, no, I want to work on management, like lifestyle modifications. I want to give diets to the cancer patients. I want to do non-pharmacological therapies for the patients. And some people might say, no, I want to work on the prevention part of the cancer, making an incentivized based app wherein people who are smoking, and if they don't smoke, you give them 2 rupees as incentive. Ye prevention solution ho gaya. So what I will do is, one of my friend who is smoking, I will buy your service. Okay, and I will buy your app for my friend, और मैं उसको बोलूंगा कि अगर तू स्मोक नहीं करेगा तो मैं तुझे महीने का whatever rupees I can give you, 300 rupees, 500 rupees, and I am paying you as a subscription model. So all these things can work out, and people can say that, अच्छा इससे कैंसर का क्या है? I am saving one person to smoke, and then so what I'm trying to do is I'm reducing down the risk factors of that particular person who can get affected with cancer. So that comes under prevention. So I'll move ahead now. So this is one of the slides picture which I try to show it to a lot of people, which defines the problem. Here the patient is talking about it is to a doctor or a paramedic staff. There is something that I don't understand, how I eat this and what is the quantity of a teaspoon as it is not liquid. So prescription में लिखा है कि ये medicine लेना है. जब cotton देखा तो teaspoon क्या है समझ, should I mix it with water or something? The pharmacist, the paramedic staff is shocked and sends the audio message that remove the cotton and there are pills under it. The patient is saying that, oh, yesterday I ate the cotton considering this as medicine. So this is the problem, that there is lack of awareness and lack of assistance. A lot of people don't know कि इसके नीचे medicines के tablets है. Right. So this is one of the problem what people can consider and make such anecdotes so that people can understand about what it is. Now, just to summarize, what is design thinking? What we have learned is design thinking is deeply user centric. जो यूजर है, जो पेशेंट है, जो कंज्यूमर है, उससे रिलेटेड है. इट इज वेरी सेंट्रिक टू दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, एंड दिस एनहांसेस द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ वैल्यू ड्रिवन इनोवेशंस. राइट. सो जैसे माली सर ने बोला कि पेशेंट काउंसलिंग नहीं हो रहा है, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. राइट. नाउ इफ यू क्रिएट अ सॉल्यूशन ऑन दैट, दैट इज गोइंग टू create certain value which is driven by the innovation you are going to develop. So this is what it is. I have one more concept which I wanted to show it to you, golden circle, but I want to utilize the time to give you more ideas about what you can do in your colleges for your students and for your young teachers who want to innovate and want to become an entrepreneur. If time permits, we will come back to this golden circle concept. Very interesting, but we'll have to skip that out. Now, this is for students. We are going to have 2 slides. Are you able to see the slides now?
Yes, it's visible.
Visible enough, right?
Yeah.
We have 2 slides. One is for the teachers and the other one is for the students. And while I'm going to talk about the students, you can note this down. These are all live. These all things are happening. I have been part of certain initiatives of this which are written over here. But let's talk about what you can do as faculty member or as a part of an academic institute. So the theme of what I want to convey to you is creating clusters or ecosystem is going to be very important and is the key aspect to develop this habitat or the understanding of people can innovate, people can do startups. Now, how to do that? This is the ultimate way to have solutions. Yeah, all right. So this is the ultimate way to bring in students and motivate them and inspire them to do startups during their college life, and also outside. Once they pass out, they can pursue entrepreneurship. So academia and industry connect. Internships and apprenticeships are very important. Now, when I talk about internships, is a very old concept, right? We are doing industry visits. We are sending students for exchange programs. People are doing internships, but this internships, lot of time, have you seen students, what they do during their internships? A lot of time, what we do is just we read out the report which they submit us after they come back from the internships. I'll tell you the fact, I'm a startup founder now. I have 4 interns who work with me on batch by batch basis every 3 months. So until now, I have hired 20 interns, and lot of time it happens that interns के लिए कुछ काम नहीं रहता है. जास्त काहीच काम नसतं. We ask interns to come, and we ask them to do content development, digital marketing, or certain documentation, or certain write-up related part, right? That's not correct. That's not right. A lot of times internships, people don't go and do the right type of internships. So internships should be problem solving challenges. You need to make the connect with the industries and ask them to throw the challenges at you. Like, for example, I always give this example to a lot of colleges in Pune, that Pune has a lot of manufacturing units, pharmaceutical manufacturing units, right? MCure is there. We have Lupin Research Park, and there are a lot of small companies who do manufacturing in Pune near Pirangot area. Now, can we collaborate, let's say, with MCure, who has their production unit, and can we ask problem at us? Few of our students who would get selected from my college will come to your unit and try and identify the problem and try and solve that problem. Whether to apply the solution or whether to use that solution is your part. But for me, people coming into your production unit, identifying the problem and solving that is very important, because I'll tell you, this is win-win situation. How this will happen? There is a small error which is happening in the packaging line of the production unit of MCure. Let's say there is certain part which is not getting printed on every syrup bottle when it is getting packaged, right? There is certain error. Okay, the industry people, the corporates, and this production line people doesn't have a lot of time because they do millions of syrups, bottles of syrup per month, right? 50 million, 100 million is their capacity. So they don't have time to go and introspect कि क्या problem है, क्या error है जिससे direction to use ये particular term print नहीं हो रहा है, या फिर there is certain problem due to which the label is getting teared. This pharmaceutical company will be very happy to collaborate with PCP, DY Patil, MIT, whoever we are, and send few students from our college. They will give us ये problem है कि ये label हर syrup पे tear हो रहा है, या फिर ये ऐसा problem है. Can you come up with a solution to this? You'll be surprised to know that all these IITs, all these IIMs do the same thing. They have tie-ups with big companies like TCS, Tata Motors, Apple, Google, Facebook, all of that. And they send students from their college to these big corporate companies, and they identify the problem and solve the problem. The young minds from our college, the solution, what they're going to give is going to be very holistic, cost-effective, game-changing, which the pharmaceutical company are going to like it. And they will apply it. And if they're going to save this cost of not hiring a design consultant or a product management consultant or a engineer who is going to solve this problem, and they're going to just give an internship, opportunities for certain college students, this is going to be win-win situations. So problem solving challenges are very important. You need to collaborate with startups. You need to collaborate with industries. You need to collaborate with consultants, who will throw in the live problems at you. And you will ask the students, whoever are passionate about those particular issues will come up and say that, no, sir, I want to solve this problem. I will go to this MCure manufacturing unit. I will spend 1 month over there and create a most holistic, most innovative solution for this. Select those people and send them to those industries. Right. So this particular internships and apprenticeships are more like you become part of their company or organization for a certain period of time. You are considered as employee and not the intern. Internship mein, you are considered as student. Apprenticeship mein, you get paid, you get all those facilities as an employee. You are considered as employee for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. So this is very important. I request all of you to have at least 5 companies, whether it is manufacturing, regulatory agencies, pharmacovigilance, CROs, clinical trial companies, or startups who are in the medtech field, have tie-ups and bombard at them that, sir, please send us the problems. Our students are hungry to solve the problems. Right? Arranging boot camps and hackathons. I attended this boot camp at MIT Media Lab in the US, and that was game changing. I saw supercomputers. I saw everything which the world is now trending about. The machine learning, AI robots, and all of that. And I became part of this boot camp. So boot camp, these are very intense. These are very cohesive. This is very interactive. Boot camps mein, in 1 week of time, they'll give you the problem, they'll give you the time. You have to spend hours and hours on understanding how can we solve it, and within 1 week of time you have to create a solution right from an app or a machine or whatever it is. And that develops that understanding of that student, that how can I build up my multi-billion-dollar company or multi-million-dollar startup. That is just a gist or a small trailer. These boot camps and hackathons are just a trailer for your students to get more motivated and get into the real game. Boot camps and hackathons are going to be very, very important for all the colleges. So what they can do is do open boot camps, open hackathons. Like they can call engineering students, design students, pharmacy students, commerce students, all of them together, so that our pharmacy students will be benefited. आने के बाद क्या कर सकते हैं, that make a group of 5 people, one engineer, one pharmacist, one product designer, one finance guy, and one marketing guy, right? Now give them pharma related problem, that making a smart, let's say inhalation में problem हो रहा है for pediatric population, right? जो rotahalers रहते हैं या inhalers रहते हैं, that is a problem. Now there is an engineer who can work on the technical side. There is a product designer who can create a smart inhaler having a nice design. There's a finance guy who will work out the pricing point. There's a pharmacist, there is a pharma guy who is giving the healthcare side to it, that what is patient, how is patient, who is going to inhale that, all of that. So main base is formed by the pharma students. And then the marketing guy ki, acha chalo, we have a smart inhaler now which is costing around 1500 rupees. How do I sell this? How do I diffuse this in the market? So these are called as open challenges, open boot camps, wherein you're inviting all the people from all the backgrounds in your particular region. So there can be like national boot camps, regional boot camps, or university level boot camps. Like Bharati Vidyapit has all these colleges, engineering, commerce, finance, all of that. So they can invite all of them, right? I recommend just don't do boot camps for pharma students. I don't have any particular knowledge about technology. I don't understand machine learning. I don't understand how to do mechanical fabrication of a machine. So I'll just do theoretical part and my job is over. You need to have this people from the various fields and streams as well. Alumni support is one of the very important thing. That's what I have realized. All these IIT people, IIM people, they get funding and all of that. It is just because of alumni. Starting point, agar koi पूछता है, तो I would say alumni support. For mentoring clinics, you can arrange mentoring clinics. That let's say I want to do a startup which is for pharmaceutical company. If the college is allowing certain expert from this pharmaceutical company for production, let's say for production, I would do mentoring clinics with that particular person for next 6 months. Every 15 days, 1 hour with that person. Whether it is free of cost or chargeable, that is a different point of view. But one clinic or one session is not going to help. Today I'll come, I'll talk to you all, I'll give all the data, show nice videos, motivate you all. That's it. Tomorrow, if I'm gone, the motivation in you is gone. But if you know that after 15 days, I'm going to come and I'm going to talk to you once again and ask you that what did you do in last 15 days, then you will work on it. Because that person is going to pick what you're going to work for 15 days and take that into their company and try to implement that. Again, academia and industry connect and forming clusters is going to be important. You can start with people who are your employees, or sorry, who are your alumni, and ask them to come on board and become mentors and do mentoring like. So I'll give you one example, like mentoring clinic, which I am part of. They do like this. So I'll just try to share the screen. Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes.
So how do I? Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So this is mentoring clinic sheet, wherein this Mr. Sundar Nagarajan is the industry expert. His mentoring pointers are value proposition, product, services, electronics, IT, Bengaluru Connects, TIE Connects, all of that. Now I can write down my name, number for whatever date I am is feasible for me, and I can join in for the meeting, one-on-one meeting with this guy. MV Shankar, I know this guy personally. He is the vice president of Mahindra automobile company. He is good at value proposition, leads and referrals in strategic sectors, automotive connects, EV means electric vehicles, industry connects, defense, materials. So I'm just trying to give you an example that this is how mentoring clinics can happen. So one mentor is trying to give so many slots. In a 2-month period, this Dr. M.V. Shankar is trying to give almost 10-12 slots for different startups. So why can't we have alumni who can come on board and we can do like this? So this is like CA, who is doing structuring and cap table, founder arrangement, ESOPs, multiple entity formation, legal compliance and related aspects. All these founders are having related problems and they want to connect with the CA, whoever the person, and she's giving so many slots per 2 months. So just wanted to share this. This is an internal sheet, but this is how we can also work on it, right? Again, this alumni support group is going to help us to do a lot of funding opportunities, right? One of the things what I wanted to do, tell you all, is that how to manage incubation and innovation center is also very important. So there are organizations like Venture Center in NCL Pune, IIT Bombay mein SINE hai, SINE. These people organize events and workshops for teachers who are managing incubation and innovation centers in their own college. So let's say if I am a professor at PCP and I am becoming a head of innovation cell in PCP. Now, how to run that and make it successful, have more startups from my college, how to do that, how to get funding, how to collaborate with certain companies. I can attend a workshop on this. This is offered by Venture Center. You can find it on their website as well. Venture Center Pune, IIT Bombay. There is an institute called as SINE, SINE. All right. So this is for teachers. I would say, work on academia, industry connect, bootcamp, hackathons, and alumni network. Now this is for students. These are live fellowships. These fellowships are specifically for innovation and entrepreneurship. SPERSH is a fellowship for social innovation. So if there is a cause, let's say wheelchair related कोई cause है या फिर disability related कोई cause है. Lot of people are visually impaired and disabled and all of that. So for that, there is this fellowship called as SPERSH. This is offered by DST and BIRAC. There is a full form for this SPERSH fellowship as well. The criteria for this is that you can also be a student. While you're a student, you can be active fellow member for this fellowship. The benefits of this fellowship is that you get 5 lakh rupees upfront grant. You can use it for your project or for your problem identification, all the processes which we discussed in design thinking. And for 18 months, you will get 50,000 per month stipend. For 18 months, they will give you 50,000 per month stipend to work on the problems you are working on and create certain solution. Along with that, they'll give you 5 lakh rupees. Right? For this, you can just type it out, SPERSH innovation, social innovation fellowships. You will get multiple information about it. If not, I'll be always happy to take this forward and help you more about it for your students. Nidhi EIR. Nidhi is National Initiative of Developing and Harnessing Innovation. That is abbreviated as Nidhi. EIR is Entrepreneur in Residence. 1 year program. You get 30,000 per month by the government. That is under DST, Department of Science and Technology, for the project you want to work on. All the freedom you get, you can take your own decisions. Teachers can, there is no age criteria, no no criteria that a student should be there or teacher should be there or whatever it is. Anyone can apply for this. Where to apply, how to apply, you can just type this particular terminology on the internet and you will get enough data on exploration grant. I have been part of this exploration grant. I got offered 1.5 lakh rupees from IIT Mandi. It is one of the very oldest and very good technology centers, and they gave me this grant just to explore. Your college can also do this exploration grant, wherein you call and give 30,000 exploration grant to 5 students every year or 3 students every year, and let them explore about the problems, right? The problems and then the solutions. How to build up solutions? Again, academia, industry connect, the alumni network is going to help you. People like me would be always interested to help you out. There are these organizations like Social Alpha, Infosys Foundation. In Pune, there is this very famous fellowship for students and young teachers, young innovators, that is Mashelkar Fellowship. Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar has established his organization as Mashelkar Foundation, and under his mother's name, Anjali Mashelkar, he has developed this fellowship called as Anjali Mashelkar Fellowship, wherein they give 1 lakh rupees to 10 students every 6 months. So this fellowship is for 6 months. You get 1 lakh rupees upfront to work on innovation, and again, all the steps which we have discussed in design thinking. Now, this is initial, how to start, where to start. If students come and talk to you, give them this opportunities, they can go and explore. Make and target that people, at least 2 people can get Spurs every year, 2 people Nidhi EIR, and few people can get into these organizations. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation also does fellowships. Clinton Foundation also does fellowships. Just to take in feedback, I cannot see the meeting screen. Am I audible? Is it going good for you all?
Yes,
Neeraj.
Okay. Lack of time, lot of information. I'm going to speed up now. Next is grants. You can note this down. BIG is very good and very, very important grants for students, young teachers, experienced teachers, whoever it is. Collaborative teams also, student teacher, teacher, principal teacher, anyone can collaborate. This is called as biotechnology ignition grant. Specifically, if your students or you, PhD graduate students or MPharm students, are working on drug discovery, molecule development, developing different types of drug delivery equipments, right? Anything which has a lot of science and life science related stuff, you might be able to apply and win this grant. In this grant, you will get 50 lakh rupees upfront grant without equity, no loan, nothing. Okay, BIG, you can type it out. This is offered by an organization called as BIRAC. This is BIRAC. This is an organization which offers this BIG. Okay, this is for next level. I suggest the students who are going from problem identification phase to product development phase, they can apply for this. Teachers who are at PhD level can directly apply for this. There are a lot of PhD friends of mine in NCL, in IIT. I've seen from academia background, they have switched, they have got this grant, they have left their job as a teaching professor, and they have now full-time working on developing a solution for the project which they did during PhD. Because now they have bandwidth, they have got 50 lakh rupees. You can pay yourself using that. Right. So Prayas grant is again offered by Nidhi. This is Nidhi. Under Nidhi, there are 3: EIR, Prayas, and SSS. I'm going to talk about this too. Prayas, you get up to 10 lakh rupees. Students can apply for this. Teachers can apply. Anyone can apply. Startups who have multiple team members can also apply. Prayas means trial, right? You keep on practicing. For practicing, for doing trial and error, doing product development, doing prototyping, fabrication, all of this, you get 10 lakh rupees. I got this. Let me be open about it, what all I have got. I've got Nidhi EIR, I've got Nidhi Prayas, I've got exploration grant. And SSS, this is next level. SSS is seed support scheme. Now that everything is ready, you're ready for production, development of your machine, small app, or your molecule, whatever it is, up to 1 CR, from 50 lakh to 1 CR, you get under SSS, Seed Support Scheme. If you're writing it down, I'll just spell it out. Seed Support Scheme under DST, Department of Science and Technology. Mighty grant, this is for mechanical, electronic, IT related solutions. The abbreviation is meant like that. In this, you get up to 7 lakhs, up to 7 lakhs. So from 50,000 to 7 lakhs, depending on your potential, the problem you're solving, the innovation you're trying to create, you will get 7 lakh rupees upfront. Okay, I am part of this as well. I've got this as well. Once you get all this, you are not left alone. You get a lot of mentoring, you'll get incubation facilities. I got incubation facilities in NCL Pune. I got one 200 square feet lab, which was owned for me for 18 months time. I can do all my meetings, I can do all my lab related work in that. I also got an opportunity to have a small space in IIT Mandi, which is near Himachal Pradesh. I also happened to meet Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, the original Phungsuk Wangdu from Three Idiots in IIT Mandi. He is a visiting faculty member over there. So this is what you get to learn when you are part of this particular grants. Not only the money, but the facilities like meeting such people, understanding their perspective is also important. Now, colleges, you can, the students, this is specifically for students, colleges and faculties. Please have a look. Always keep one eye on Startup India website. There are a lot of challenges, hackathons, boot camps, multiple clubs, a lot of things going on in India. You can get access to all of that while collaborating with Startup India. Again, DST, Department of Science and Technology, looks after the science and technology related startup, because we fall in science category. There is no pharmaceutical related stuff, right? There is science. BIRAC is specifically for biotechnology, again for pharma people. And keep an eye on innovation cell like SIGN, that is from IIT Bombay, Venture Center, which is there in NCL Pune. Catalyst is from IIT Mandi, and a lot of institutes might have this. These are very established people. They can help us to set up incubation centers, innovation centers in our colleges. Their guidance will be very, very important for us. It's 16:53. We have 7 minutes of time. I think I would just stop off from here and take if there are any questions from your side, and if we have time, I would be happy to talk about Golden Circle. One of the things what I wanted to tell you over here is that whenever you're promoting and letting people know about startups in your colleges, or even you are doing, Dr. Raghunath Masherkar always says that he's a very renowned scientist, and we all are very aware about it. He has done great stuff in science and material science and all of that. Whenever your students are starting up, inspire them or motivate them to create IP driven startups, because that is going to become the asset of not only your startup but of our nation. India is ranking around, let's say, at 120th at this point of time for IP filing. We are at 120th position to file and patent. Number one is China, and then US and Japan, Korea, all of this, and we don't fall very close to them. So whatever ideas you have, whatever solutions you develop, make sure those are IP driven, so that people from global level don't come and copy you. And that's what they have did. They are using turmeric and curcumin and all the Indian products to create medicines for cancer and all the very life-threatening diseases like CKD and all, right? And they have patents on them, and this is our grassroots product. Turmeric, haldi is our product, and we don't have patents on it. Dr. Raghunath Masherkar has fought on it for a tremendous period of time. So whatever you do, please inspire your students to have IP driven solutions. Okay, so I'll be very happy to take the questions if there are any from your side. If you want to know more about certain thing, if you want to, check for opportunities for your students in your college, you can just unmute yourself and talk about it. I'll stop sharing now my screen and probably.
Yeah. So from the participants, if any questions are there, you can directly ask to Neeraj, or you can put your questions in the chat box also.
So, reason behind telling you all or explaining you all about design thinking processes, I've considered that there are people in this particular session as well who are wanting to innovate, and they would want to understand where to start from. So ideally, it would have been easy for me to explain that what all you can do and what all your students can do, and emphasize more on it. But I wanted to talk more about how to start. Some things which if you can evaluate and pass it on to your students, that will be great. Like that problem identification activity. It is a very fun activity if people come in the group, sit on a round table and do that. And everyone is talking about, I am facing this problem and I am, this is what it is, iske consequences ye hai, iske wajah se I have seen a death in my family. There is so much emotion behind every problem, and they have a solution for that, right? And once they have that, we need to make sure that they come up with this particular document to us and say that we did this activity, sir or ma'am, and we need to take this forward, because this is going to make sure that we solve this problem. No one else is solving this problem in this world. Another thing is, I would, meanwhile, if people are just synthesizing what they want to ask, I would give you two things. Now, a lot of colleges and, your lectures are going on online. There are two things what you can ask your people to do, with the modern generation. There is this documentary on Netflix, Decoding Bill's Brain. I don't know how many of you have heard about it and have watched about it. Bill's as in Bill Gates. It is 3-episode series. One episode is of like 40-50 minutes. And out of 3 episodes, that person, Bill Gates, has solved 3 problems. One is sanitation, which is in India, irrigation, and climate change. And out of these 3 episodes, 2 are the problems which are solved and which are existing in India. And see how that person is identifying the problem, how is developing the growth team, creating strategies and solving that problem. One of the major factor and reason to zero down the polio cases in India is the Bill's Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They have worked extensively on reducing down polio cases in India, and it was almost 0 now. So yeah, I have a question over here. So that's what I was telling, that if you all can allow students and you all watch it live and discuss how they are solving the problem in that series. It's on Netflix. Is any findings available for environmental issues for startups? So just to clarify, findings as in, are there any solutions available for environmental issues? Is this the question? You can unmute yourself, or maybe I can just understand what it is written over here. So there are a lot of incubators, like Venture Center is mainly focusing on environmental issues and agriculture related issues. Like one of the companies, very good friend of mine, is a founder of Pad Care Labs. What he does is creates primary and secondary products while collecting the sanitary napkins and converting those into synthesizable small molecules, and then from those molecules they are making like tables, chairs, and it is like an alternative solution for plastic. So you need to find the incubation centers who are specifically focusing on environmental issues and agriculture issues. There are a lot of people who are working on dry crop, jo dry ho jata hai, and creating toasters and basically all the plates and spoons and all of that, using that dry crop, converting into certain synthesizable material and then into that. So you can find that. Are there any specific grants for social entrepreneurship apart from Sparsh? You can go through Social Alpha. Social Alpha is sponsored by Tata Group. Tatas are mainly into social entrepreneurship. They help entrepreneurs who are there into social innovation and social entrepreneurship. So you can look into that. Sparsh is also a very good option. Other than that, CSR. Yes, if a lot of companies do CSR, like Bajaj does CSR for startups who are working in automotive field, working on EV and all of that. Cipla, Novartis, Pfizer, Dr. Reddy's, they have CSR, and now their focus is on diffusing this CSR money on social entrepreneurship, social innovation. So if your university can crack this out, then nothing better than that. Collaborate with Dr. Reddy's Labs or Cipla Foundation and get their CSR money into your college and distribute that only for social innovation. And I have been part of it. I have secured a small CSR grant for my product development. And I was considered in the social innovation category because I am solving a problem for geriatric population.
It was a wonderful session. This is Sania. I asked this question.
Okay.
I'm from MITS Institute of Pharmacy, Nasik, and we're trying to build an incubation center here.
Okay.
And I would love to connect with you. So
Sure.
It was a very wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Glad you like it.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Neeraj.
Okay.
As usual, you are very energetic and you have a lot much things to share. But of course, there is a time limitation.
Yes.
We are really falling. And another thing is we had a back-to-back sessions since morning.
Yes.
So that's why,
Then this must be
yes,
very
that
hectic.
is a saturation here. And that's why I wanted your session on some other day, but okay, fine. It was an excellent session, and of course we will be sharing the contact with all the participants, so they will get connected to you on this issue.
Okay.
So that was really a very nice session, and you are succeeding very good with your startup, and with you are venturing into very great things, and we wish all the best.
Thank you.
And yes, we would like that you continue helping other institutions also.
Yes, yes. So one of the things just want to add before I say goodbye to all of you, I have a small office setup. It's a lab, and if people, let's say from Pune or colleges in and around Pune want to do industrial visits, right, for their students, and they want to understand how startup work, my lab is open to all of you. You can come and you can check out the equipments and how I'm trying to solve the problem, and you can be a part of my ecosystem as well, right? So I'll be open to that to help you out, as a kind of a volunteer in this particular ecosystem, right?
Yes, that would be great for us. and helpful actually for the students to see, because that is going to create an altogether different impact.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Neeraj, for sharing with us this opportunity also.
Yes.
And as a token of appreciation and love from your alma mater,
Okay.
I'd like to present you a virtual certificate, which will be, of course, mailed to you later on. So thank you very much for being with us and sharing your story, experiences, and sharing with us the different arenas which are open for us to move on with the startups. Thank you very much, Neeraj.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Vivida ma'am. It is always pleasure to be part of such innovative programs hosted by PCP, and always we'll be very happy to see that if there are few startups from pharma background students coming in every year and doing wonders in this country, it will be really great. I'll be very happy to see that. Thank you so much for calling me as a guest over here. I'll be happy to connect with all of you outside this session if there is any help you need from my side.
Yes, and one thing I would like to share about Neeraj, that he never says no. Whenever we call him, and it is experience, you will also experience, he will never say no to you. He is always ready to help you. He will come in person to help you, of course, at any period of time you call him. So with Neeraj, that is really, you will never expect a no from him. He will always say yes.
Thank you
And
so
he will
much.
definitely help.
This is big thing coming from you. So
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Neeraj.
Okay, chalo. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goodbye. Yeah. So today we will end up the session here. It was quite a hectic session with 4 back-to-back sessions today. The schedule for tomorrow will be shared in the evening to all of you. And thank you all of you for being with us. So all of you take care. Bye-bye. We'll end up the session. Thank you.